There are 6 major assumptions. One of them I'm going to, with the results I had this morning, I'm going to alter one of those 6 major assumptions, recommend an alteration. The police department, as you can see, deferral of 2 supervisory positions, officers being reduced from 35 to 33, adding 2 full-time dispatchers, so the head count is held at 35, and a small reduction in overtime from $210,000 to $192,000, which is the amount spent in 2008. As you can see, municipal court goes from 3.5 to 2.5. We received we switched health insurance carriers. Health insurance spending for 2009 is estimated to be up $376,000. The move is for better long-range planning, more transparency. I have discussed with you this with you previously. The health insurance fund is operated almost identically to the Morris County Joint Insurance Fund, with self-insured retention limits, excess premiums, and protection on catastrophic losses. We all serve as volunteers. We have different committees, and as we know, the Morris County Joint Insurance Fund is a superb shared service, and as we speak, the membership is looking to increase as well. So we made the switch. The savings in 2009 are only $40,000 versus Oxford, but we're hoping for much better stability. Since it's run by municipal professionals, they understand this is inside the cap spending, and large rate increases are not going to be looked on favorably. Debt service will be up $670,000 as we begin servicing of the $26.3 million in general obligations bond we sold in October. The library is budgeted at the statutory minimum, and the reserve collection for reserve fund collected taxes is being reduced from $1,496,000 to $1,050,000, or a reduction of $446,000. And I needed to do this in order to get us slightly below the maximum on the levy cap. With the information I received this morning on the increase in the surplus, I'm going to reverse this. I'm going to recommend we use $5 million in municipal surplus and offset that with an increase of only a decrease of only $246,000 in reserve fund collected taxes. So we would go from $1,496,000 to $1,250,000.
And why is that, Robert? Can you explain?
Well, this is a small reserve. First of all, now we're budgeting at probably 97.6%. Many other municipalities are at 91, 92, 93. Taxing, our tax levy in 2009 will be on the order of $56, $57 million. So this is a really tiny piece, and I believe I would like for us also, with the spending reductions that we need to get inside the cap, I'd actually I would like for us to reduce the reduction even more. Those are the 6 major assumptions.
And again, I think it goes back to what Ray was asking, you know, understanding this is a tiny piece, but in comparison to other towns, which are only having maybe a 1% tax increase or less, they have a different philosophy as far as uncollected taxes.
That is correct.
And that's what you're reflecting here?
Well, it's more so of protection. If I did not, if the surplus numbers didn't come in where they were, I would remain the same. Most likely, as I discussed with you just recently, Chatham's budget's 91%. Their reserve is $2.7 million. A much larger municipality. Summit budgets either 92 or 93%, depending upon where they are, and they generate $5 or $6 million in surplus from that. So their reserve is $5 or $6 million. Ours is much smaller. We're asking our residents for much smaller, but it adds, even as small as it is, it's protection that we need in order to not run deficits.
Okay, I just want everyone to be clear about the numbers with reserve for uncollected taxes, and that we are changing it this year, so we have a slight philosophy change.
Yes.
So, any questions on that so far? Ray, is there anything you want to add here on
I can
the,
be very fast, and I will be. Just thanks to Jeannie and Austria, current finance chair and prior finance chair, this process, as Jeannie alluded to, started in August of '08. Our normal process involves meeting with each department head. They submit a proposed budget from their perspective. We have individuals meeting between the administrator and each department head, and if there are autonomous agencies like the health department or the library or the commission or board, we meet with their board leadership in addition to the department head that's assigned to that department. We don't always agree, and I think that's obvious in terms of the document that's in front of the governing body. This is my recommendation. I think that should be clear, is that the governing body has just recently received the budget, so what's in front of them is not the result of a deliberative process by the governing body. It's a recommendation from me to them to consider, and they could choose to follow it or take a different direction. What we've done so far in regard to the things that we can control, department heads, with the support of the governing body, we reduced the raises for all department heads in half. Best practice had been whatever the union employees got on January 1st of each year, the department heads, which are our highest paid employees, received the equivalent. This year, the governing body cut that philosophy, basically eliminated that philosophy, went to a more merit-based approach, and reduced all raises for all department heads in half. They also eliminated, in the past there was a second adjustment in July of each year to again match what was in the union agreement for the unionized employees, and the governing body eliminated that raise package. For 2009, as a contribution towards the borough in recognition of our position, and the governing body was very supportive, I will be receiving a 0% raise at my request to demonstrate the seriousness of where we find ourselves. In December, the personnel director and I met with all unions. We have 7 unions. They have existing contracts that run through 12/31/09. We asked all unions to reopen negotiations. That was not embraced by the unions, but the fiscal reality was explained in terms of that we are going to have to do more with less, and moving forward, we may have less people to do that work with. In terms of negotiations, we met with our labor attorney, and in preparation for negotiations, laid out a strategy, and that strategy will involve a request to the through the governing body to our employee base, exploring the possibility of contributions towards health. It's not a significant percentage of the cost of health benefits, probably freeze on hiring, and other measures to reduce payroll and the impact of payroll and personnel. The majority of our budget is primarily, overwhelmingly, personnel related. So when you affect change and reduce costs, obviously you reduce the number of people. So it's a difficult budget, but we have a strong governing body, and they'll deal with the issues. And we thank you for coming tonight, and please come back to the rest of the hearings. Thank you.
thank you.